Welcome to the Comedy Here Often podcast. I'm your host, Kevvy. This week on the show, my guests are John, Cullen, and Stefan Heck from the podcast Blocked Party.
Testing.
Sorry about that.
Testing.
I'm bad for talking hockey.
He always does it. Loves it.
We're being filmed too, right?
You're being filmed, but you look great, so don't even worry about it.
Okay.
On your podcast, you don't get filmed?
No. We've talked about maybe...
Didn't Dan do it for a bit?
No.
Oh, I thought he actually did it once.
No, but we've talked about maybe like putting it up on Twitch or doing like live stream when we record.
We should do a live stream.
We should, yeah.
It's a waste of handsomeness, if you ask me.
Thank you. Very kind of you to say. But you're also here. You're bringing up the handsomeness quotient.
Yeah. Flattery will get you everywhere. So these are my friends John and Stefan, and they have a podcast called Blocked Party.
That's right.
How many times has Dikembe Mutombo been brought up?
I think a couple times.
Yeah. He's been brought up a few times.
Wag.
Yeah, we have. And I think I've said...
because it's just...
Yeah, we do it to ourselves.
Yeah.
I've done the not in my house. I think I've brought up the old, and he does the little... house
shape.
We should get him on. That would be like our dream guest.
Amazing. Oh my God.
He can speak several languages. He's from Zaire. I read his Wikipedia page.
I wonder if that'd be great. I wonder if we know anyone who knows him.
So it's a relatively new podcast, and you just talk about people that you've blocked on social media. What kind of monsters are treating you two lovely people in a way that you need to block them?
Well,
I mean, I get most of the...
Yeah, it's mostly Stefan. Well, so we...
I mean, you've seen my Twitter.
Funny.
Right, but... So I got blocked by Dog the Bounty Hunter.
Oh, it's people you've been blocked by.
Yeah. I don't block people.
You guys are the monsters.
Yeah,
Yes,
we're the monsters.
You're not monsters.
And we bring people on the show to talk about times they got blocked. So it's not always about us. Like we do...
The bonus episodes.
We'll do bonus episodes where we talk about times that Stefan or I got blocked. But the main episode is we bring on a guest. So like say we had you on, Kevvy. We would get you to tell us about a time you got blocked.
Okay.
Have you been blocked?
You're so nice.
Yeah, you're really nice.
You know what, though? This is a bit of a hot take, but I don't like white supremacists.
What?
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Controversial.
Okay.
Big if true.
Here's a crazy story, okay? And it's going to sound name-droppy, but I don't mean it to. But a friend of mine who's a very famous tattoo artist, I was staying with her once, and this dude had convinced himself that we were in the Illuminati and we'd ruined his life. And so he kept creating new accounts, and I kept blocking them. So that... I should have done that on your show.
Well, you can.
You can.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say anything else.
Our show's like an hour and a half.
Are you in the Illuminati?
I'm not in the Illuminati. If I were, I would have a more expensive hoodie than this.
Yeah.
And
well, it's a nice hoodie.
Nice
though.
hoodie.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
What material is that?
Cashmere.
Oh, okay.
This guy's in a cashmere hoodie.
There's
He's
not
like,
much of an upgrade.
Yeah, he's like, if I was richer, I'd have a more rich hoodie. You have the rich hoodie. Like, I don't own anything
You're not even
cashmere.
wearing a hoodie, Stefan.
I know.
Yeah, what the hell? You missed out on the memo.
That's a nice t-shirt, though.
Do you find that on your podcast you tell sort of is there enough stories? I guess you could probably get them weekly with your sports social media situations because they get so emotional.
Yeah, I mean, I've found recently the block stories don't take up the majority of the podcast. Oftentimes it'll just be a little like 5-minute aside at the end.
Yeah.
But so we do we
fucked up.
We'll do like a social media update, which is just whatever you've seen on your social media that week, and it can be anything. Yeah. And that takes, and then there'll be some
that takes up a lot
general riffing before that.
Yeah.
That takes up the majority of the show.
Yeah, and then we do the block story. I mean, the thing is that I was talking about this actually with Graham Clark, local comedian, who I know absolutely the best. Pardon me. And when we were talking about like these days, like especially if you're in the comedy space, like everybody has a podcast. It's like kind of a joke, but it's true. Like everybody does, and so you do kind of need a hook now. Like the idea of just like, oh, it's two funny people sitting around shooting the shit. Like that doesn't sell it anymore.
And that's what ours is. But we have
but we have a hook.
And
we
the
have
hook is not. I mean, again,
it's just an elevator pitch. It's like a catchy name and a way of saying like, we have people on to talk about times there, because we've had people too where they'll be like, oh, I don't think I've really blocked anybody, and we're like, yeah, that's fine. Just like come on anyway, like figure it out. Yeah, you've probably blocked someone, or we've even had people do like real life where they'll be like, oh yeah, like who was it that Fatima got blocked by Skip the Dishes, Fatima Dore. Yeah,
she got blocked by them.
Roast them.
Yeah,
for poor service.
Precisely. Yeah. So they like blocked her from using their app. So it wasn't so much of a like, I'm blocking you on social media, but it was like, you can no longer use skip the dish. So it's very fluid what we do.
Okay. So what about you? Are you blocking a lot of curling people on Twitter?
Well, no.
John's a professional curler.
Thank you. Professionals.
I mean, you are though.
Like semi.
Professional. Well, you're like ranked.
It's not
in
my
the world,
job.
Aren't you?
Yeah, my team this year was like around 50 in the world. Oh whoa, this guy's. I don't know what's going on. Do you know this guy? This guy.
Let's keep the interview going.
Sorry, it was very. I'm trying to keep it professional. It was just very distracting. I don't know.
You guys.
I don't know if this is on purpose or what, but I like it.
I like it too.
Yeah, it's a good vibe.
You are ranked though. You're ranked,
yeah. I'm a ranked curler,
like
but so a lot of people, it's just like old people who don't know how to use Twitter.
You okay, Stefan?
I'm fine. Yeah.
So it's like a lot of people that use old people that need to be taught how to use Twitter. We're trying. I don't know.
What's wrong? What's going on with you guys?
No. It's what day is it? It's Wednesday.
Yeah,
it's kind of a Wednesday vibe.
Wednesday at like 5 p.m. vibe.
Yeah.
But anyway, I haven't had to block too many people on curling Twitter because it's mostly old people that are just trying to like figure out even how to use Twitter. So they don't know how to be controversial on Twitter. They don't know how to like spice it up. Right. All they do is just, it's very like straightforward. But they want me to be their son.
Who doesn't? But are they old enough where maybe they can accidentally be offensive in an old person way, like colored or something like that?
Well, only white people curl, so it's not a big but it really is like there are a lot of Asian teams, but then other than that, it's a very white sport. Okay. So those people that's probably why they like curling.
There's the Norwegian team with like the fancy pants, right?
Yeah, so that's like about as well.
Like
they have,
aren't they?
Yeah,
it's like a diamond checker.
Well, pattern? They do a bunch. They have a bunch because they really leaned into it.
Yeah. So people get pissed at that though.
Yes. Oh, for sure. At first, people were like, "Oh, we don't like that," but then it just became their gimmick. And then they partnered with like Loudmouth Golf, which is John Daly's golf pant company.
If there's one guy, it's like because I like basketball. In the early '90s, there was a Nintendo game called Bill Lambier's Combat Basketball.
Oh, what?
John Daly is like the Bill Lambier maybe of golf,
or like the Dennis Rodman.
You just sold me on John Daly. What's the craziest thing John Daly ever did?
He did well. He did the Niagara Falls thing.
I mean, that was pretty crazy. Right? The fact that he even won was bananas.
Crazy temper, right?
Yeah. What was
the haircuts?
The haircuts were wild.
He's like Rodman then.
Yeah. He had like big mullet, big mustache. Okay. He does this thing. He's like, when you see him now, he'll do like, when he does like exhibitions or whatever, he's a big Diet Coke guy.
Right.
Like he's one of those guys that drinks
he's
like
a big cigar guy too.
He's like Donald Trump.
Yeah. He's like a 10 cans of Diet Coke a day kind of guy.
Well, at least he's watching his figure.
Yeah. So he would so what he does is he'll drink a can of Diet Coke and then he'll put a golf ball on top of the can of Diet Coke and then he'll drive it off the can and he can drive it like 300 yards.
That's like his bit?
Using like a Diet Coke can as a tee. It's one of his bits. Yeah.
Okay. Well, he did the Niagara Falls thing though too, where he drove a ball across
Niagara Falls. Yeah.
Did he actually successfully do that?
That's a great question. I don't know the answer to.
I feel like he did.
I mean, why would you do it if you didn't think you could?
Let's perpetuate it.
He did.
Then it went well past it.
Yeah.
And it was even better than we remember.
And then he got in a barrel after and went down.
Went down it?
And found the ball.
We're overdue for someone falling over Niagara Falls again. Right?
In a barrel.
Or just like whatever.
Yeah, why did that stop? Do you think that was like I
think it's people died.
People did cooler stuff. I think going over it in a barrel like wasn't that cool anymore.
I think people moved on to the Capilano suspension bridge for their suicide attempt.
Well, that was only if they tried to kill their baby. That was different.
Oh, that's a throwback. I remember that. Yeah.
And the baby lived.
I know, that was crazy.
Which is insane.
Yeah.
It's so high.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That baby's badass, though. I mean, not John Daly badass, but
no, it's like a Francis Bean Cobain situation. It's like, where is that baby now? Like the baby's probably like 12 now.
Oh yeah,
it's got to be like so cool, you know.
That was longer. That was like 20 years ago.
Was it?
It was in like 2000.
That was 20 years ago.
We gotta look this up.
God damn, we're so old. Like 2000 does not feel like 20 years ago. but you're right. It was.
Yeah.
John, I can't help but notice that only I wore a Korn shirt today.
That's a great Korn shirt too. The picture of Jonathan Davis.
I like Korn.
I thought you hated all new metal.
No.
I thought me and John were going to ambush you by both wearing our Korn shirt.
I don't own a Korn shirt, Kevvy.
You don't own a Korn shirt?
Then you should have worn your Limp Bizkit one.
I also don't own a Limp
You have to have some sort of new
I know,
metal shirt.
and I don't, which is sad. I should. In the day, I had like several Deftones shirts. I had a Limp Bizkit shirt. I think I had a Korn shirt at one time too.
Stefan, we were going to ambush you with an episode of P.O.D Cast, our new metal podcast.
Yeah, the one we never did, but we've talked about a lot.
But we've talked about it on enough podcasts that maybe
it feels real.
That's too bad. I was ready to feel so alive.
For the very first time?
Yeah. We play, I like Korn. We play, there's a 19-second clip of Jonathan Davis scatting.
Yeah.
And you can pay, I think, $5 to play it on our Twitch stream. And it like
Is it the clip from like Freak on a Leash? Is the
yes.
boom?
Yeah,
that one.
The acapella of it?
Yeah.
Nice.
That's got to be the only thing better than that David Lee Roth acapella that was floating around online.
From, what song was it? Running, was it Running Through the Jungle?
Running with the Devil.
Running with the Devil. Yeah, what am I talking
Running
about?
through the jungle.
Running through the jungle.
Yeah.
He really got into Guns N' Roses that song.
Yeah, exactly.
Decided to change up his lyrics a little bit for the rest.
Just watching a lot of Tarzan.
But that's the one where he's just screaming.
He's like,
Yeah.
It's like, if you've ever watched Metalocalypse, there's a character named Dr. Roxo that just basically is David Lee Roth.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm a cocaine. Yeah. Awkwardly quiet after that. I guess no one likes Metalocalypse but me.
I don't even know
Seems
what it
like
is.
you would like it.
What is it?
It's like an Adult Swim cartoon.
Oh.
They're based on like basically like Metallica.
Yeah.
Oh.
But they're just so metal, but they're like the biggest band.
They live in a
ever.
big castle.
Yeah.
Oh.
And like Mike Patton does a voice.
Oh.
It's really funny.
Okay, yeah, that sounds like something I would very much
and
like.
the episodes are like 11 minutes long.
Oh.
Yeah.
Sorry I didn't give it up to you on that.
That's okay.
I will buy a Korn shirt and I will watch Metalocalypse, and the next time we do this, I'll be ready to go.
There you go.
Man.
I feel like I haven't delivered today now. I'm very
You're doing great.
That's
Just
okay.
a Mudvayne shirt would have made it a little.
Oh, wow.
I was watching The Sopranos yesterday and there was a Mudvayne reference.
Oh.
Really?
Because AJ goes to
He gets into like coal chamber and stuff.
he goes to a
whoa.
Mudvayne concert in Manhattan. And
So Mudvayne were in an episode of The
No,
Sopranos?
they just mention
they just
Mudvayne.
mention it, but it's
Yeah.
not. The only time I saw Mudvayne was on the Summer Sanitarium tour.
Oh, with
which was
Metallica.
Oh, you only saw Mudvayne once? Okay.
Looks like me and Steph will be starting the P.O.D.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, it was Metallica, Linkin Park, Limp Bizkit, Deftones, and Mudvayne.
Isn't that the one where Fred
Wow.
Durst kept getting booed?
Yeah, so that was like for
guy.
whatever reason, that was like right when Limp Bizkit, like everybody just hated them for some reason. Well, I know why. Like, there's lots of good reasons, but like, so he would, so people booed, like, and he came out. They were right before Metallica. So Linkin Park were like, they were just blowing up at the time. So people were loving Linkin Park, like loving them. And then Limp Bizkit comes out, and people were not happy, and they're booing. And Fred, to his credit, was just like, yeah, I know you guys fucking hate me, but like, I don't care. He's like, by the end of this show, you guys are gonna love me, and this is gonna be. And he did, man. They put on an unbelievable show. By the end of the show, people were fully on board.
And that was sans Wes Borland.
I think Wes Borland was there. I'm pretty sure he was still
quit?
in. Yeah, he quit after.
Was this like 03?
It was
02?
It was 03. It was pre Gold Cobra.
How about the fact we're having this conversation?
Yeah, people are loving this.
We had this almost a very similar conversation on our podcast.
Yeah, with Keith Buckley.
Yeah.
From Every Time I Die.
Yeah.
Andy loves him.
Oh yeah, he was on our
He's the
podcast,
best.
and he's a very nice man.
Yeah.
Didn't he come on a podcast, the Bar Rescue podcast?
Yeah, with me and Chris James.
I love that you had that.
Yeah, it was hosted on Chatterbait.
Well, it was hosted on Live Jasmine at first, and so Live Jasmine is a lot stricter in terms of like who can appear on your stream.
Well, wasn't it more that they were unhappy that you didn't have your dongs out?
No. It had nothing to do with that. So our first episode, it was a live stream on Live Jasmine, which is a pornographic webcam site, and I sent like a scan of like my passport to Live Jasmine. I sent like a photo of me holding my passport to Live Jasmine. It's just like Hungary or something. So they just have that in like a database now, which is fine, I'm sure.
So they were just mad that your name wasn't Jasmine? Was that the issue?
No, so because Chris didn't submit his ID or anything.
Oh.
So it was under my name, but because Chris was on the stream, and then also I think the first episode was Brandon Wardell.
Oh, and he looks like a child.
Well, I guess there's that too, yeah.
Yeah. His little backpack on an Earl sweatshirt t-shirt.
Yeah, but our stream got shut down like midway through.
Right.
And so we had to switch to Chatterbait. And on Chatterbait, it's just like, are you 18?
Anything goes, right?
That's it.
So like the idea is that they were worried that someone might not be 18, like if you don't take a picture with your passport or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought it was that they were just unhappy that you guys weren't getting it on.
No, and one of our ideas was, so this was a Bar Rescue podcast that myself and Chris James, and Chris has been on this podcast before, right?
Not this one.
No, he's been on a podcast with you.
He's been on a podcast before.
Yeah. He was on your podcast.
Yeah. Okay.
He's been on a podcast.
He's been on a bunch of podcasts. He has his own
He was on that Bar
podcast.
Rescue one you're talking about, right?
Yeah, he was on that with me. So it was a Bar Rescue podcast.
But that was live only.
Streamed on like a porno website.
You guys never released the audio.
No,
it was video only. Yeah.
We put the video up on Pornhub.
Right.
So I think it's still up there.
I do actually think it is still up there.
I'm pretty sure it's still up there.
Comments on that.
I haven't checked the comments.
Just a lot of disappointed incels.
Video.
It could be. It really could be, but the idea was we would have guests on to talk about Bar Rescue, and we were just on so the idea, basically, we wanted people who were there to like jack off to just like stumble on it.
Yeah.
Like, what is this? You know? Yeah. And that did happen once. We had Todd Glass on, and this guy came in the chat room and was like, "Is that fucking Todd Glass?"
And
he was there to like,
and you're like, yeah. Oh, he was there to. Oh, okay.
Yeah. He had like amazing guests on there.
Yeah, so wait, was he coming to like get off to you and Chris, but then was disappointed that Todd was there?
He was just scrolling through Chatterbait,
like, I'm still gonna jerk off.
And then he saw, because we were like, we had like high views, so we were like pretty high up there.
So that makes sense. Right? Yeah, right.
But so our idea was we were going to hire a guy just to stand between us, just like ass naked, and like we wouldn't like interact with him or talk with him at all. He wouldn't say anything.
He's like the gimp.
Yeah, he's just a naked guy standing there between us, and we would just continue on with our
That's
with
a
our
really
show.
Good idea.
Yeah, we need to bring it back. Honestly,
like I want to do that.
I like that we'll
have you on.
You just said, I want to put a nude man in between us that we don't say anything. And Kevvy's like, that's a really good idea. That's the world we live in right now in 2019. That's a great idea.
It's just a great
idea.
We're going to bring it back. I'm announcing it right now.
Okay. All right. Wow.
Chris doesn't know about
That's a scoop.
Yeah.
He'll just,
on Comedy Here Often.
I mean, I could text him. I'm going on the stream like right after this.
I'm sure he would be fine.
Yeah.
He wouldn't care.
Yeah.
That's nice. I can't go on. I can't do that show
for school reasons.
Correct. Yeah. I can barely do my own
show. It's bad enough that you do a podcast.
Exactly. So
like
it's for the best.
Have you? John's a school teacher.
Yeah, that's right. Maybe we shouldn't say that, but no.
Pro curler. And I'm sorry that we're just going over John's resume.
No, that's fine. I
just like talking about it.
I mean, we're going over my resume. We went over the porno thing.
That's true.
We just have very different resumes.
Yeah.
Like that doesn't feel like an item that should be on a resume, but it is on Stefan's resume. So that's the whole.
Well, they have your ID. So
that's
a lot.
I don't think I can go to Hungary anymore.
No, I think that's going to benefit you in the future somehow. As a school teacher, has your stand-up has it ever been a problem?
No.
Has a student ever seen you do stand-up?
Yeah. So like a lot of my former students will come to my shows. So I shouldn't say a lot, but I would say like over the years I've probably had 40 or 50 like that come out, but this is after they've graduated and they're old enough, because that's the thing about comedy. You usually perform in a bar or in a club where it's 19 plus. So I don't get current students coming, but I'll have former students come out to the shows. It hasn't been a problem so far, but we are testing the limits of that on Blocked Party. So we'll see if
I feel like Chris James would have a lot of Blocked Party stories because he's so aggressive.
We've had him on twice, and I'm sure we'll have him on.
We're gonna have him and Gavin Matz on together at some point.
Yeah,
I mean, Gavin has
father and son, two people that really hate a lot of people online and are very aggressive.
Did you see Chris's stuff today?
No.
Oh, that was wild.
Someone, well, you know, his whole thing now is like prank calling like conservative radio.
Yeah, and it's for those who don't know, like Howard Stern seems to have like become a bit of a fan of his.
Yeah,
plays his calls on.
He played the call to Roger Stone.
Yeah.
He called Roger Stone and said, "Hey, I'm jacking off to you right now."
Yeah.
Well, he said batching off.
Batching off,
is
and then
Chris's
Howard's.
Students don't see this.
Oh, that's fine. They can see it. It doesn't matter. They don't care.
But
They're chill. If a student is like, I always think of it like this: if a student is the type of kid who in high school is seeking out like stand-up comedy and podcasts, they're probably like chill about it.
Yeah.
they're like a nerd, so they're not gonna
Exactly.
Yeah,
That's what I was. That's basically what I was saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like I liked stand-up comedy when I was in high school, and I was a massive nerd. So
me too.
Yeah.
Also.
Really?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
makes sense.
But you guys like sports.
Yeah, but a lot of nerds like
What a
sports too.
dichotomy.
Yeah.
I guess stats kids are kind of dorky.
Yeah. I think that's.
And I was always this weird kid where I was like a crazy nerd, but somehow athletic as well. Like I
Okay.
played a bunch of sports growing up. And so I think that was more the attraction for me, was the playing of the sports. I was like a jock, but also like in the gifted program and a massive nerd.
I'd like to make it clear that I also played sports.
Okay.
Yes, Stefan did
And
too.
I still
like,
do,
like
so.
field hockey.
You have a pretty
well-
athletic frame, so.
Yeah.
Thank you.
welcome.
Play some soccer. You know,
Yeah.
I have a soccer frame.
Yeah, Stefan,
Can you flop like those guys?
I can actually. Yeah.
he can and
Yeah.
does.
I was.
Not even on the field.
Wow. I was a little piece of shit when I played soccer growing up because I was very small. And I mean, I still am, but I was like shorter. I'm like an average height now, I would say. But I was much shorter. Well, you just did a little.
I mean, some would say that, yeah.
Anyway.
No, I'm just kidding. You are.
I was on a team with like a bunch of like really big guys, and so I would just like throw little like surreptitious elbows.
Like John Stockton.
Yeah, exactly.
Shorts.
Yeah.
Elbowing Isaiah Thomas in the back.
It was great, and they couldn't do anything about it because our team was just like huge.
Yeah, it's like, pick on someone your own size, and you're like, yeah, don't bug me. I didn't do anything.
I wasn't like that when I played soccer when I was 7 for one season. I was basically just in it for the orange slices. I will admit that.
Because that's the thing, when you're a kid, you don't understand that you could just have orange slices.
No.
Like you think
Yeah,
in your
it's the
mind, you're
only
like, no,
time.
I got to play soccer, and then that's
You
how I
gotta
get them.
Convince your parents to put up the cash for another summer of orange slices.
Yeah.
I peaked early with soccer because my U4 team won the championship.
U4.
And then it was my U5 team won the championship, and then my U6 team, the same team, but a year later won the championship again. And then the first time they won, they like announced it at like the big tournament or whatever, and everyone was like, applauding and stuff. And then the second year they didn't announce it because all the other teams were like too upset that we won again.
Did they get participation trophies?
They did, yeah. That's why I'm so fucked up. I think is all the participation trophies I got.
I mean, that's certainly what our parents are telling us.
Yeah.
That's why we're fucked up.
I just remember something so crazy from my soccer league. Okay, so at the end of the season, by the way, there was a game that I played and I didn't know it, but the whole game I was out of bounds.
No one told you.
Yeah, I've never shared that before.
I used to, I used to ref soccer. Like that was that age, like U5 to like U8. And it was amazing. Like even at the U8 level, how you'd have like some kids who were like legitimately good athletes and were there to play soccer, and other kids that would just sit in the middle of the field the whole
it was
game.
Swarm ball too, right?
Yeah. Oh, totally. The kids just follow the ball all over the field. And
I thought I was doing good though. I thought it was open.
over here.
No one passed me. But the thing I was going to say is that at the end of the season, everyone got some kind of award. So it really petered off at us, 7 kids into the garbage kids like me. But I didn't get so the kid who got the last place, everyone called him Tank, which is an ironic nickname because he's like not very good. They gave him just a Twinkie.
You wouldn't even give him a ribbon?
No,
was it even bronzed, the Twinkie, or was it?
They handed him a Twinkie as an award, and everyone laughed at him, including the parents.
Oh my!
Was he
God.
fat? Was that why they called him Tank?
Yeah.
And they gave him a Twinkie?
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
Where do you think he is? It probably fell off
He's probably dead.
fell off Niagara Falls.
Yeah. Oh
He's
my God.
man, the 90s were so cool.
That's
man.
brutal.
You could just like give a fat kid a Twinkie as a participation ribbon, and all the parents are like, "Yeah, this is cool. This is acceptable."
Seems fair.
God. I won.
Could you imagine if that happened now?
No, I'm saying that-
it would go viral, and the kid would get like birthday cards from
He'd have a
everybody.
GoFundMe.
Yeah, oh yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah, and then like Christian Bale would come to his hospital room.
Yeah. Then they'd look up his
He'd give him a
mom's
Twinkie?
tweets.
Yeah,
His mom
and
would be racist.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
yeah.
But Christian Bale would give him a Twinkie, and it all started.
Yeah. Yeah. So I won most improved player on my 5th grade basketball team. I was on the 5B team.
Holy, you played basketball too?
I did play basketball from grade 4 to grade 7.
Nice.
I was very, very bad.
Really?
So I won most improved player in grade 5 because I made a basket in the last game.
This is the cutest thing I've ever heard.
And they were so proud of you.
Yeah, and I had like my sports goggles on as well.
Oh, hell yeah.
Like Horace Grant.
I had to
like
wear
Simon
glasses
Birch.
too.
Yeah.
Simon Birch.
Yeah.
That movie is tragic.
Doesn't he kill someone in a baseball game?
Yeah,
there?
he kills his best friend's mom.
That scene.
Spoiler.
That scene is really
It's
funny.
devastating though.
Well, it's funny.
Well, funny
The scene
now,
is
maybe,
No,
but-
that scene has always been funny.
What are you guys talking about?
Okay, it's this movie Simon Birch, and this kid.
It doesn't sound like a sports movie. It sounds like a movie about an author.
It's it's a kid with dwarfism.
Yeah.
And so he has like a best friend. And,
Rudy?
It's sort of, well, Rudy wasn't a dwarf, I don't think.
He was a Goonies.
Compared to the other players.
Compared to the other players, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was like, he had like a best friend that was like a popular boy, and he was like Simon's only friend. And his mom, the popular boy's mom, was very, very kind to Simon. Simon's parents were very mean.
Okay.
So he would always like stay at his best friend's house, and his mom was amazing. And then they were playing baseball, and it was Simon's dream to always get a hit. He would always just walk.
It's so you need to. It's so funny.
The coach would insist that Simon take a walk because he was like 2'5". so the coach would be like, don't swing, like take a walk, like whatever. So then it's like this big game. Simon comes up to the plate. He decides he's going to try and get a hit. So he swings the bat, gets a hit. The foul ball hits his best friend's mom in the head, and she dies.
Yeah. Holy shit! Who wrote this?
It's based
on
John Irving. Prayer for Owen Meany, I think, is the original novel.
Yeah.
Okay, can I tell you guys another elementary school soccer?
Yeah.
yeah. You
And I
definitely.
hope you'll join in with your own after this. So, why did 3rd grade? Like, I didn't even like soccer, but I played it like all the time. I think it was just because I was trying to make friends, maybe. But I remember one time the ball came to me, and I wasn't sports minded like you two are with strategy, I think, because it sounds like you both had strategy at a young age. I would just kick it fucking really hard if it came to me. And one time I kicked it really hard, and the ball sailed through the air, and then the wind caught it. And then there was a teacher discussing something with a student, and it sailed perfectly into her face and broke her glasses.
Oh.
And she continued wearing them for the rest of the year, but they're taped up.
Nice.
We need to fund our schools better, I think, is what that story tells us.
Absolutely. Well, I have that story. Like, you recorded my stand-up album, so I have the girl hit me in the face playing indoor soccer.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So it was like...
Oh, so that's the thing I just said was bittersweet for you.
I didn't like it, actually. It wasn't even... There was no sweetness. It was all bitterness.
Yeah. No. I hit a teacher in the balls playing floor hockey.
Oh, hell yeah.
In like grade 11, I think.
The problem is that you can't... And I sort of get at this in the joke, but like you can't do anything because you're an adult and they're a kid.
I felt really bad.
Like I had one where
it was a good. It wasn't like a bad teacher either. It was like a nice teacher.
I had a much worse one where I probably shouldn't even.
Well, you have to say it.
But so it was a teachers versus students ball hockey game at lunchtime.
Yeah.
And it got pretty competitive. And there was another teacher at the school that was also very competitive. And so I was on a breakaway, and this kid just cross-checked me from behind into the net. Like my head smashed the post. I had like a goose egg on my head.
God.
And like, if that happened in regular hockey, I would get up and try to beat the shit out of the person.
Yeah.
I probably wouldn't because I'm pretty weak, but this is a kid we're talking about, so I probably would win.
Yeah.
Was it a big kid though?
No, I would have beat him. Okay. And but that's the thing is like you can't do anything. So like he's basically assaulted me.
Yeah.
I'm a teacher and an adult.
You want to assault him.
I want to assault him because we're in the throes of the adrenaline. And so it was really funny because I was actually like pretty hurt. I was down on the ground for like a good 30 seconds. And the other teacher, who was even more competitive than me, and he like wore gloves. Like I didn't even have gloves.
Yeah.
Like he's like wearing gloves.
Wearing gloves in floor hockey is...
He literally dropped his gloves and got right in the kid's face. And I was like, oh. So I'm like laying on the floor and he's like screaming at the kid. He wasn't swearing or anything, but he like got up in the kid's face and he was like screaming at the kid. And yeah, it was
you must
like
have been concussed.
Probably. I mean, it was like 10 years ago. I don't remember. So maybe I was, but yeah, I was like, oh my God. I was like, this teacher's going to like fight this kid. But then it didn't, like, it obviously petered out.
You met him after school and just wailed on him.
But it's no, but it was just like one of those weird things where, yeah, it sucks being in that situation because you're hurt and you're upset and there's like almost nothing you can do about it.
And there's like other students watching.
Yo, of course. Yeah. Oh yeah. There's like 300 kids in the bleachers. Yeah. If I got up and popped this kid kid, I'd be fired.
They would have been like, ooh.
I mean, this was before camera phones, though, right? Or was it?
No, camera phones would have been around. Yeah.
Right,
so but yeah, it was just like
gone viral.
True. Yeah. Well, there was that teacher that went viral for beating up the kid in class. Did you see that?
No.
Oh yeah, that was wild. It was like the kid kind of deserved it. He was like, no, because he was like, I think he was being racist towards a teacher. I don't really remember, but it was like, and so the teacher was just like, "What did you say?" And the kid said it again, and the teacher just like, boom, just pops him.
Hey, do you guys remember on like Ricky Lake and those kind of shows? That's a deep cut.
That is a deep cut.
When they have troubled youth on, and then like some steroided out guy come on and just yell in their faces.
Yeah, like the Scared Straight stuff, sort of. Yeah,
I thought it was so good because I like seeing punk asses get their just desserts.
Yeah,
but like 3 episodes of that concept in, the kids started to realize there's nothing that guy can do, so they were just even more brazen and more bold and learned even less
because they're not going to get hit by the guy.
Yeah. And they knew that.
Yeah.
But the first time they did that, it really worked and was really effective because they weren't sure. Because this guy seemed insane. But they'd seen the other 2 episodes of that happening and realized there's nothing he's going to do.
And then the logical end of that is like Bad Baby's whole career.
Yeah. I saw her at the airport once.
Really?
Yeah, she had like a huge bodyguard.
I was going to ask.
Yeah.
Do you guys like her songs? Or
I feel like her songs
good,
are not
actually,
terrible. Like they should be worse than they are.
Yeah.
Is what I would say.
Yeah.
Are you guys hip-hop fans?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sound a little lukewarm on that, Stefan.
I mean, I'll say this. I have one daily mix on Spotify that's hip hop.
John Daly mix?
Oh, that's okay. That's something.
It's loud.
What would be on that? Just Skinnered over and over again.
Yeah. Skinnered and new metal. 100%. He's definitely
Maybe some Roger Miller.
Yeah,
I think I'm a big Roger Miller guy.
He's like definitely I don't know if this ever happened, but I would say there's a pretty good chance at some point Limp Bizkit brought John Daly out on stage in like Tennessee or something. It's like, yo, this is motherfucker John Daly.
Kid Rock for sure.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Kid Rock too. Yeah.
No, he just likes Joe C. This is the second time we talked about Joe C.
Yeah, that's right.
That was the name of the episode, I think.
The Serial Joe C.
Yeah.
Serial Joe. What a great band.
Yeah. Andy, do you know about Serial Joe? It's from England.
Yeah, you wouldn't know. And you shouldn't.
Never heard of Serial Joe somehow.
They were from my hometown.
It was like if Sugar Ray were 11-year-olds. So go ahead.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Google search.
That
fall in love with
first Sugar Ray album is crazy.
Floored?
Yeah, isn't it so nuts? It's like all this like trash new metal and then Fly for some reason. It's like there's literally the song, I think it might be the song right before Fly or 2 before Fly. It's called RPM. Mm-hmm. The song starts with the sound of a car engine revving.
Okay.
And you can't imagine how bad this new metal is. Like, I mean, you know, Kevvy and I, like, we're new metal fans. Mm. Like, to me, there is a such thing as good new metal. This is like, you can't even imagine how bad this is. And then out of nowhere, it's like...
You're laughing at, Stefan. This is a valid genre.
No.
Exactly.
I agree.
Then out of nowhere, it's just like...
I just realized something about that song. So, remember? Okay, here's how it goes. Do you know that song?
Spread your love and fly.
It goes like, I just want to fly.
High. Super cat.
Hi. And then suddenly, that part wasn't in the song anymore. And I think it's because of that was the first case of cultural appropriation being called out.
Well, no.
Mark McGrath can't get away with it.
No, it's because it was a different guy. It was a guy named Sugar Cat. And there's 2 versions of Fly on their album, one with him and one without.
Oh my God.
And the funny part is...
Are you happy as right now?
The funny part is I always get happy when I'm talking about new metal minutia. It's my favorite thing. So I know people were like... Because that was one of our first episodes, was with Keith Buckley. So we're getting people to donate $5 a month.
For like 20 minutes straight.
And then I didn't hijacked the episode. It's just me and Keith Buckley shooting the shit about new metal, and people are like, I paid for this? But yeah, so the version with Supercat was a bonus track, and that was the one that went big.
That's the only addition, though, is him saying that one thing?
Yeah, no, because in the beginning he's like... you know what it is? Gotta people or whatever. Whoa. Like he does that like whole thing at the beginning where he's like, gotta people, Sugar Ray, you gotta fly, you know, us. And then he's like, and then in the chorus he does the like high part. But yeah, so they thought that like, I guess just Fly regular was gonna be their like single.
Yeah.
It wasn't. It was the version with Super cat.
I had a run-in with Mark McGrath on Twitter last year. Remember that?
Oh my God, you block him?
No, because it actually was like a very pleasant
really
experience.
funny.
Yeah, he was
good
super
dude.
nice. But what was their like really big song? When It's Over, right?
Well, there was Every Morning. Fly's their biggest. That was their breakout.
When It's Over was like top 3 though.
Yeah, When It's Over and Every Morning, I would say are the like.
John
the big
McCain died last year, right? Mm-hmm. This is going somewhere. And
I'm happy to stop there.
There was footage of his funeral, and there was like music playing, and it was like in a big like cavernous hall, so it was like very echoey.
Whatever you're about to say the song was is already fucking hilarious.
So, well, I'm not sure what the actual song was. It was like God Bless America or something, but I took the sound out and then put in When It's Over by Sugar Ray, and then added like an echo effect so it sounded like it was actually playing in the room. And then I tweeted a snippet of the video and was like, "This is kind of a weird choice for a song at John McCain's funeral." And a lot of people thought it was real.
Yeah.
And then Mark McGrath saw it and like quote tweeted and was like, "You know what? This is kind of weird, but I'm like honored if you chose to play this."
You tricked Mark McGrath.
Yeah, and so I didn't have the heart to like tell him like, well, I did this as like a joke. So I was like, yeah, man, like it might be real. I'm not sure. Great to see. You know, you're doing great. I think he had said like, oh, I've been off the grid, so I don't know if this is real. And I'm like, I'd love to get off the grid sometime. He's like, yeah, I recommend it. I was like, yeah, good to talk to you, Mark.
Nice conversation.
I always wanted to do a prank where I went on Don't Forget the Lyrics. You guys remember that show where it was like they would play so he hosted it and they would play like part of a song and then you would have to like remember the lyrics that were in there, and that was the whole game show. You just had to get all the words right. I thought it would be like a super funny prank is if you just the first round, it was always like the easiest possible song and you like fucked up the lyrics on purpose and got so excited about it, and then the crowd would have to be like, because the crowd would be like yeah or like boo, so you'd be like, it was the summer of 83 and then just be like, lock in those lyrics, Mark, you know it, that's it, the summer of 83, and I always remember it because that's when I was born. And Mark McGrath would have to be like, what the are you sure?
Do you get a chance to like do it over?
Yeah, so it's like the same thing like on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire where they would be like final answer.
Right.
On this they would say, do you want to lock in those lyrics?
Okay.
And then so because you couldn't use any of your help until you'd done it once. So you couldn't just be like, I don't know this song, I want to call my friend.
Right.
You would have to guess at what they were.
Which then for some like funny TV.
Exactly. And then Mark would be like, do you want to lock in those lyrics or do you want to phone a friend or ask someone in the audience or whatever? So when people were really confident, they would say the lyric and be like, lock it in. So I think that would have been awesome just to do it. The summer of 83, lock it in. And Mark would be like, are you sure you don't want to phone a friend? Hell no, baby. Everybody knows that song.
I can't believe that hasn't happened.
That's a good idea.
Thank you.
I've always wanted to go on Shark Tank and pitch the idea for Shark Tank and see how long it takes them to notice.
That's a great idea.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've ever seen in Dragon's Den. People have definitely pitched TV shows, but I don't know if I've ever seen it on Shark Tank.
That was one of the worst pitches on Dragon's Den. Was where the guy came in and pitched like a children's TV show or something, and it was just a total disaster.
Yeah.
The absolute worst, and also my favorite Dragon's Den pitch of all time. It was like these two retired guys from just like a small town in Ontario, like let's say Burlington, and they were pitching a new casino game.
Oh yes.
Which is just completely insane on its face because it's like there's like 5 casino games and there've been 5 casino games since like 2,000 years ago. Yeah. So you're not like breaking into that market. And it was some weird card game with dice as well, and it was like it looked sort of like a craps table, and there was like
he'd invented a new game.
Yeah, they invented
these two guys,
a new game,
and you could tell like it was really convoluted, and they bring up the dragons to play it, and the dragons don't really get it. And then the dragons ask like, well, like how much money have you put into this? And they're like, oh, like both of our life savings combined. Oh. And they're like, oh, okay. And they say, yeah, you know, like, well, they ask, okay, well, has this been in a casino? And they're like, yeah, it has. And they're like, oh, that's great. And they're like, is it still there? And they're like, no, it was there for like a month, and no one wanted to play it.
Oh,
because no
people don't know what a game is. Yeah.
The game they're good at because they want to win money.
It's just, I love those Dragon's Dens, and I find Dragon's Den is better than Shark Tank because
for that,
the Shark Tank people are like way too cocky.
Oh.
And Dragon's Den, it's like nice Canadian people.
Yeah, I like the lady.
Which
Arlene?
Arlene. Yeah.
Because the thing about Shark Tank is like, even when the pitch doesn't get a deal, most of the time you're like, okay, I can see why. You can be like, this is a viable business.
There's some stupid ideas.
For sure. But for the most part, you can be like, this is a viable business, like whatever. Like Dragon's Den gets some where you're like, what is happening? How could you and you get that like, I'm $250,000 into this, and you're like, what?
I gotta say, every time someone goes all in on those shows in a game they've invented, it never goes well. Because I remember there was an old Asian man. Pardon me for saying that, I'm part Asian, so I can say that. He'd invested over $1 million into this like wiffle cup game, and his granddaughter was there translating his speaking language to the judges. That was
I think you struck the landing there.
Okay.
Yeah, I think you're fine.
You're a sports guy.
You're good.
Yeah. And then they were like, what is wrong with you? Like, they weren't even being, like, it was the first time those Canadian judges were like, you're an idiot.
And
he was
no.
like 80 years old, and he left, and they played somber music on his walk.
Oh, yeah, they always do.
So emotionally manipulative.
The board games never because the thing is, like, even explaining like a good and fun board game, you sound like an idiot. Because
totally.
It's like Settlers of Catan. That's a great game. That's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
That's like tough to explain to someone who's never played it before.
Oh, for sure. So you got to get wheat, you got to get sheep, you got to get brick, you got to get stone. Okay, and then you're gonna and there's a robber, and the robber steals some, and then there's gonna be a card called Monopoly. Oh wait, so it's like Monopoly? No.
If you can't just say, okay, you know what, let's just play around and you'll learn as you go, then it's a bad game. If you can't say that.
And even like the top board games, like they're not making profit. Like I remember it became this like running joke on Dragon's Den of like, oh great, another board game. And that's the thing too, is like
you just buy one of them.
Yeah, you got to respect the people, and so you got to be like, okay, I'll listen to the rules of your dumbass game, and I'll go up and play a fake round, knowing the whole time like, well, I'm never investing in this.
Yeah.
So it's just like,
do you guys own board games?
Yeah,
I'm a big board.
I need to kind of get my collection going again because I've like moved a lot the past like few years. But John, you have a great collection.
Can you guess which ones you have?
Yes.
Snakes and ladders.
Yes.
Shoots and ladders.
Oh, he has both.
I've got both. Yeah. Those are the only ones I have.
That's it.
That's it. That's the whole.
Yeah. You have Camel Up. I love
Camel Up is great.
What is Camel Up?
It's.
Do you want to explain this board game?
So there's 5 camels, and they're literally like that.
This is like impossible to explain without having.
Without having the board in front of you.
But you're racing camels.
It's essentially a camel race that you bet on as it's happening.
Yeah.
Do you have Hungry Hippos?
No. I have the like conceptual board game.
We were talking about it though. That's not a board game. Hungry Hippos. That's like an action game because we were talking about Loop and Louie. Did you ever play Loop and Louie?
No.
This is 2 podcasts in a row. I've talked about Loop and Louie.
We got to get Loop and Louie.
Is it like Shoots and Ladders?
It's not.
No.
Oh, I did a horrible job explaining this. Like,
it's an automated plane that spins around in a circle, and it flies low. And then if the 4 of us are playing around a table like this, when it flies near you, you have a little paddle, and you can knock it up into the air because you're trying to protect a wall of chickens. So the little chicken discs.
Yeah.
So if you don't pop the plane over your chickens, it knocks on your chickens
or
off.
it can knock like all of them over if it hits it like directly.
If it hits it directly.
It is.
So
to me, that's more like a
change direction and it will go faster and slower.
Yeah.
So you have to be ready and you have to try and pop it over.
It's legitimately really
fun. Yeah.
Sounds fun.
Yeah.
Is a Ouija board a board game?
That's a good question.
Where Satan is the dealer.
Because it's made by like Milton
Hasbro.
Bradley or Hasbro. Yeah.
It's a board game because I mean it's not really real.
Oh, I do just want to say one more.
Someone's pissed.
My favorite bad Shark Tank pitch was this like college student went on and he was like super cocky and like really confident and like ready to sell his product. And as soon as I heard what it was, I'm like, oh, that's the dumbest fucking idea I've ever heard. And what it was, he's like, well, I travel a lot. When I go home from college or whatever, it's not a lot. It's like 3 times a year, whatever.
Yeah.
But he was like, I find whenever I go to the airport, I'm always like, what food is available here at the airport? And so what I've done is I've developed an app that has like food court maps of all these major airports. And they're just like, you can just like walk up to the map at the airport. It saves you like 10 seconds.
It was so
bad.
Like he seemed like
cocky, but he did seem like a nice kid.
He seemed very nice.
Smart.
Like he definitely...
You know exactly what I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, because he seemed like smart enough to know this was a bad idea.
I've seen every episode of Shark Tank and every episode of Dragon's Den, and I've listened to every new metal album. It's like the only 3 things I know about. Super valuable skills.
Sorry, who's cocky?
Yeah. Yes, me. Super cocky. It was really tough to watch because he started crying and then he left and then came back.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's why I remember this one because it was such a train wreck.
I don't think you guys understood.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. He's like, you guys don't get like what and I get it. Like it seemed like he had legitimately worked very hard. He went to a really good school. He built the app, but like, that was like literally their first like
even if you didn't want to walk to like a kiosk in the airport, you can just like, they have it on the airport's website.
Yeah.
Right.
I think his like ultimate idea was that you would have this and then you would partner with the vendors in the airport. So the benefit to using it would be that you'd like get a coupon for like a restaurant that's in the airport or whatever. But that was his like end game.
Get a free Timbit.
Yeah. When he went on the show, he had one airport. And it was like, and he
there's more than one. You need more airports than that.
Yeah. And it was just
you need to have at least 2 airports.
A lot of the tech company pitches are like that. They're like, I'm reinventing the wheel here. Give me $500,000.
Well, I mean, I always say this, but every 2 weeks, some like Silicon Valley guy reinvents the bus.
Yeah.
Oh, really? And it's like, it's like a vehicle that there's like a predetermined route and it'll stop at these predetermined stops along the way. And maybe you like tap a card to get on it. And you can't say like, I want to go here directly, but you can go near it and you get off at the stop and that's a bus.
Yeah.
Like I think when you go on Shark Tank to pitch them Shark Tank, you should do it as an app. So you should be like, this is an app. So when you have a business idea, you log on to the app and then it will be a panel of entrepreneurs who are very successful that will judge your business.
But it only works in airports.
Or on the bus.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, that was a good episode. I don't know how to finish these.
You didn't even sound convinced.
I just know that other guests are out there.
I'm sure that you've had like other pods where you actually like talk about comedy and stuff, and we were just like,
no, I didn't.
We just hijacked it, and we're like, new metal, Sugar Ray.
Basically, I just want to be on Block Party, and so I'd
anytime.
Whenever you want.
Really?
Yeah, of course.
You can go next week.
Yeah,
perfect.
Well, we need a guest.
I already told you could come on, didn't I?
I didn't remember hearing.
Who would your block be? Give us a couple of just so people are guessing, so we don't like reveal it now.
Okay, wait. How does it work again? It's people who
it's either you've had to block or have blocked you.
But preferably because we had one from our friend Patty Mo. He got blocked by Megan McCain. So if you've been blocked by like a person of note or
I don't like I'm not like Gavin or anyone where he likes like stirring shit up.
He does.
Like,
yeah, he really does.
Bad.
Yeah.
But I will say that because I'm in a band, this young girl, her dad was making fun of my band. She was like 12, and then her dad was like, your band sucks. And then I was like, what music do you like? And he's like, I like Annihilator, which is a metal band. And ironically, my uncle's an Annihilator. And I was like, my uncle's an Annihilator, you idiot. And then I blocked him.
There you go. Okay. You just got a preview of the Blocked Party episode with Kevvy.
A friend of mine who she's like, has conflict on Twitter all the time. She showed me. She's like, here's what you do if someone's being a dick. You hit them back and then block them quickly so they can't respond. Yeah. That's good.
Classic move.
That's good too. Yeah. Well, I mentioned Brandon Wardell earlier, but he has, to me, I think the smartest thing about blocks, and he said this, which is you should never block someone. You should only mute them, because if you block them, then they get a screen grab out of it. They can screen grab. Oh, this guy blocked me. I got under his skin. So they get. You never give your enemies content. Is what he's saying. Good. So I never block. I'll block like brands and like promoted tweets and stuff. But if someone's just being an asshole, I'll just mute them, because then they're just yelling into the void and they don't know. You know?
Brandon Wardell is the singer of Incubus, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Just brought that around the new
everyone. Yeah. And Wes Borland is the guitarist.
Okay, thank you guys. Blocked Party. I'm going to be on it soon. You heard it here first. If they don't let that happen.
No, it'll
happen.
We're men of our word.
Yeah, we are. Usually. Yeah.
Thank you guys.
Yeah,
thank you.
Bye.
See you guys.
Thank you for listening to the Comedy Here Often podcast. I've been your host, Kevvy. Thank you to Stefan and John Cullen from Blocked Party Podcast for being my guests this week. Make sure to follow them on social media, and make sure to follow us on social media at Comedy Here Often on all platforms. And make sure to check out our YouTube page for new content all the time. Check us out next week when my guests will be Ed Hill and Stuart Jones. Thank you.